Hi. Oh, sorry, this is my starting page. Okay, good. So my presentation is called One Day in the Life of the Front-End Programmer. So I will tell you a short story about front-end programmers. Well, front-end programmer, we will have one programmer. And who am I? I'm Damian. I'm the meet.js originator, but what most important for me these days is it's just my company called Functionite. We do awesome JavaScript workshops. And we actually brief JavaScript, and you can find us on functionite.com. Yeah, but before I start telling you a story, what they say about front-end community? Who will guess? Maybe something like that. Have you heard that? Like, you know, we are warriors, ninjas, super awesome people, and whatever you can think of. Yeah. Okay, so I have a friend, his name is John, and he's a front-end developer at a, well, decent software company. You probably don't know this company, but it doesn't matter. This is John. Well, he called in CoffeeScript, sorry. And yeah, John has also some friends, except for me. And well, John is an ordinary front-end developer as you and me. And he's ninja, by the way, but he called himself like that. So let me tell a story about his life. Well, let's say, let it be Friday, right? We love that song. So he's a CS ninja, like CoffeeScript ninja. Yeah. So his day starts at 9 o'clock, and what he does is a social streams review. Well, we don't do that, but John is different, right? So well, he needs to be up to date with things. So what we read daily about you know, IT and stuff. We browse some memes, right? It's okay. I personally love memes. We browse some, you know, gossip websites. For example, Untitled.js. Maybe you heard about that. It's a great Polish site. And well, we watch some motivational videos. It's a great start of the day, right? Okay, so what happens next? Let's say 10 o'clock. It's a good time for social streams review. Yeah, so some tweets. You know, John follows a lot of front-end people. Let's say hippies. Well, I know a few who wants to change the world. Well, they can. And what's important in your life as a professional is that you get a lot of offers from HR recruiters, right? And if you are on the JavaScript groups, for example, on JS News Jobs, you probably heard about offers for Java developers, right? Because we write people, and for example, here we have PHP, right? It's a normal thing, and Java, Hibernate, of course. MATLAB, well, it's RBQ, so probably. The good marketing skills would be a plus. Well, I don't know who this headhunter is, but. And yeah, John's social streams review ends up with some hackathon invitations. Well, we like pizza, right? Programmers like pizza and beer. And this is a special kind of hackathon because you can bring your sauce. So people like garlic sauce, I guess. Yeah, so 10:30, let's start some serious work, sorry. Yeah, so we have a ticketing tool. Yeah, some, decent stuff like changing colors. I especially love this third one. Well, it happens sometimes when I browse websites. Yes, so John loves his job and he thinks that he does the rocket science thing. Okay, so let's move on. The next one is discussion time. So, well, who knows what would happen? Oh, we are on Facebook. So we have a simple question and simple answer, I guess. And we go on and, okay, why? I like this one especially. So the discussion continues, and so on, so on. Yes, just simple, answers like we know the internet, right? So the day continues, and we have work time. Wow! So probably John will cut something, and he got the email from his manager. John needs to implement a validation system for email input. So probably. He has to validate wrong emails addresses on the websites. Okay, so let's see if John is capable to do that. Of course he is. And what John does is, wow. Yeah, John is optimistic about his work. So he found something like that. And yeah, well, this is a simple task, right? So he commits stuff and everyone is happy. This was what? Oh, sorry. Oh yeah. This was rocket science. So next up is lunchtime, of course, afternoon. We have some conversation, right? We never sure what we want to eat, right? So our coworkers probably send us emails with propositions, and you see the variations of dishes, right? Wow. Next up on the John timeline is blog post time. So John has a lot of blogs that he reads. One of it is that. John found a very new article on centering in CSS. And again, I think that, and John thinks so, this is a rocket science. Next up is, John has a lot of friends, right, as you've seen on the previous slides. And, we have an article about life. This is a serious thing. So yeah, we have a paragraph about money and stuff. Yeah, money isn't important, benefits either. So yeah. Then there is a surprise time. Who guess what would it be? Close enough, but not it. We have the email from our manager. Our manager wants to do some simple stuff as usual, right? So John, unfortunately, cannot do that because he's having a date on Friday. This is a normal thing, probably. He can do that, but his manager wants him to do that. He has good arguments. He can buy him a Silverlight for Unleashed book, so I think that John will do that. Okay, that's enough. I think that I revealed too much of John's life, and let's get to the point. I think that this wording about our profession went far too long. I think that we need to chill out really, because as you looked at this slide, we tell about ourselves a lot of very positive things, but I think that we overdosing and over-optimistic words about our profession. JS warriors, ninjas, awesome beer, pizza, is, everything for us. I think that we need to be normal again, maybe. We not more special than other specialists in other fields like scientists or something. We just not. Some of us do some rocket science thing, for example, at Facebook or other websites that have millions of users, right? But usually it's about, well, our job is just simple. In most of the cases, of course, I'm not often, I don't offend you. We change colors, we move some stuff, we change dimensions and stuff like that. So for me, it isn't really awesome. We should limit this wording about our profession. But of course, not changing the word attitude is wrong, status quo is wrong. But on the other hand, our optimistic words are either wrong. So I think that we should find a new, a good balance in our life. And for example, eating habits, right? Each post about hackathons or something like that mentions about, hey, we have pizza and beer. Probably you're up for our hackathon, you will love it because you love pizza and beer, right? I think that thinking that we just need pizza and beer is ridiculous. I really hate that. Of course, it's delicious, and you and me knows it. We like it, but food is a fundamental thing for humans, and we shouldn't just forget about that. We should remember that there are other vital options. So I think that we're not pizzarians, we are just humans, right? And this is one thing. The second thing is, before we start changing the world, I think that we should ask some basic questions like, do I do sports? Do I play sports often? Do I hang out often enough with my family? Or instead of producing nonsensical opinions on the web? What's more, you might not like it, but unfortunately we live in money age. We need them to survive. Money is important, and I always, I'm very angry when someone is shy about talking about money, right? Do not be shy when you talk about money. And about the environment we live in, for example, as you've seen that in the Jones example, we should be never scared of changing the job or expressing our needs at work. It's again fundamental thing that we should never forget about. It's freedom. Listen to your feelings. We always make fun of them, right? Of HR people, but they need us and we need they. So maybe we should work together on better communication. Like, I think that critical tweets don't count in, so maybe there is another option instead of making just fun of HR people. And back to this wording, like we are awesome, we are ninjas, we are never good enough, and it's always worth to learn new things. For example, I hated CoffeeScript, and I wrote a lot of sentences about how bad it is, but I never used that, or I used that in small amount of code lines. So I was a dump. And I think that you are never awesome enough, and if you think opposite, you will never change the world. Oh, Jesus. Oh, sorry, I guess I have to leave. Thanks.
Thanks.